We had a quarterback in this town for many, many years. Those of you who are football fans, Donovan McNabb, and I use these names again with permission. Maybe you know someone like Donovan McNabb. Outwardly, he always looks cool and calm, like nothing ever bothers him. But trust me, first down, 3 yards to go for a touchdown, and he gets very, very nervous. And the same thing happens to him that might happen to you in a performance situation. His heart starts to beat like this, starts to breathe like that, he starts to sweat. I had a chance to talk with him and some other athletes about a lot of work that I know you do here, which is calming down, slowing down, centering, things that you can help me better understand, deep breathing. I'm going to talk to you about some of those things and apply it to a situation that's challenging to you mentally in some ways. I was involved with the Phillies when they were in last place. For those of you that are baseball fans, we know they've won the World Series 2 years ago, made it back to the World Series. Jimmy Rollins was a player who was on both of those teams. And I had a chance to ask him, what was the difference between the last place team and the first place team? And like this, he said, Joel, easy example. When I came to spring training, opening of the year, and the Phillies were in last place, if I made a mistake, I came back to the dugout and nobody would say anything. It was quiet, like a morgue, the parting of the Red Sea, he said. Our championship teams, and to this day, if I come back, if I make a mistake and I go back to the dugout, one of my teammates is going to say, don't worry about it. Someone else is going to say, shake it off, it's okay. We have real teamwork. Everybody talks about family and being part of a team, but what are the building blocks of teamwork? What really creates positive communication, togetherness? My goal is today to get you to think about situations that have been challenging to you from a mental point of view, mental skills, and that you walk out of here with some ideas, strategies, similar to perhaps some of those examples I just told you about that you can apply. But let me just check out an assumption with you. Because each group is different, every person is different. And my assumption is, when you have to perform, and I ask you again to make that relevant to your own life, what percentage of performance do you think is mental? And we're talking about the mental skills for peak performance being these skills. Is it 10%? Is it 20%? Is it 30%? Is it 50%? Is it 80%? Because if we're going to spend time today talking about mental skills as it relates to being the best you can be, letting your natural talent come out in your personal life, in your work life, in your family life, in your recreation life, in your artistic life, in your musical life, I want to make sure that these skills are important for you. Everybody's different. Every group is different. And if we're going to spend time talking about mental skills, I just want to make sure that what we're talking about is on target for you and it's relevant for you. So I promise you, I'm not sitting on a correct answer here. But I'll just throw out a very general question to you, which is, what percentage of performance for you in an area in which you have to perform are related to these mental skills? And then I'll just go through some percentages, and what I'd like you to do is just raise your hand to the percentage that matches the number that pops into your mind. And then we'll see whether this is relevant for you, and then you'll help me just sort of clarify my thoughts so I can make it most relevant for you. So again, the question is, what percentage of performance do you think is mental? 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%, 80%? 80%. Okay. Victoria, I'm going to ask you, what percentage do you think it is? I'm going to pick on you if you don't mind.
80.
80%. And why would that be? Why? And can I ask you what situation you're thinking of, please? Or is it a number that just pops into your head?
Yeah, it just popped into my head. I wasn't thinking of a particular situation.
Okay, but why 80? Why would that number, do you think, pop into your head when it did?
Because it was a lot more than half.
Okay. Okay. And if I can...
The majority.
Majority. And again, to put words, you tell me, please, I hope correctly in your mouth, I can practice certain skills, writing, speaking, hitting a ball, getting up in front of a group, studying for an exam, but if I don't have it together up here, confidence, composure, concentration, communication, teamwork, it's hard for me to perform to the best of my ability because 80% is quite high. Anybody who thinks it's 10%, just raise your hand if you think it's 10%. And again, I'm not sitting on a right answer here. 20%. 30%. Okay, 40%. Okay, I'm sorry, your name, please?
Mary.
Mary, why 40, please? And is there a specific situation you're thinking of?
Yeah, it's a Q&A.
Okay.
Q&A sessions after a presentation. So it's a kind of an in the line of fire experience. And I only think you can only be so mentally prepared for that because you actually don't even know what's going to come. So that's why I think it's 40%.
Okay.
I think it's a lot of other things because that's what I feel like I'm pulling on because it's an unknown. So much
Absolutely,
unknown.
and I'm pleased you're raising it. What other things? Does anything come into your mind that really make up the other 60%?
Well, I try to sit really square in the chair with my feet solidly on the floor. I try to use communications training
Sure.
that I have. I try to make good eye contact with people, and I try not to allow myself to go into like negative predictions and mind reads, to stay real present
Sure.
with what's exactly going on. So that's how I came to that point.
Sure, and I'm sure you're drawing also on your experience and your knowledge, and those are all significant. And nothing that we talk about today, friends, substitutes for that. Nothing substitutes for the hard work we put in to develop our skills, our knowledge base. But what I'm hearing you say, Mary, if again to put words in your mouth, if we have that base covered, then 40% still in a Q&A session where you have to be quick on your feet, you have to react, unpredictable, can't fully prepare for, has to do with confidence and the ability to be flexible. Thanks.
And not be seen sweating so
And
much.
don't let them see you sweat. Don't let them see you sweat.